Hey guys, and welcome. In today's video we're going to look at Golang basics like variables, functions, loops and conditions. Let's start. Go has various value types including strings, integers, floats, booleans and so on. Now we'll look into a few examples. Let's print an string. Now we can also concatenate two strings using the plus sign. Let's print also an integer. Let's print also on float. Go also have boolean types with their boolean operators as you would expect. For example, true and false. You can also have true or false and the not operator. Now let's run this example. As you can see the results, we have strings, integers, floats and booleans. Now let's look at variables. In Go, variables are explicitly declared because they are used by the compiler, for example, to check type correctness of function calls. Let's declare a variable a and assign the value of some string. In this case, the type is deducted by the value that is assigned to it, so a will be of type string. Let's print it. You can also specify the type and declare multiple variables of the same type at once. For example, let's say a and b are of type int and assign the values 1 and 2 to them. Let's print them. Now, variables declared without a corresponding initialization are zero valued. So if we say that we have variable a of type int but forget to initialize it, it will have the value of 0. Go has also syntax for shorthand declaration and initialization of a variable. For example, if we had variable a of type integer which had the value of 5, we can shorten that by deleting the var and the int and using a colon. Now a have a value of 5 and its type is automatically deducted to an integer. Let's run it. Go supports also constants of the basic types. For example, we can declare a const variable using the const keyword. Now s will be a constant string. Constant values cannot be modified and it's a good practice to use them for values that do not change over your program execution. Now a numeric constant has no type until it's given one, such as by an explicit conversion. For example, if we have the constant n, it still has no type until we don't use it in some context. For example, we can try to print it. And let's say in that context we want it to be an integer. since you don't have a type, we can also use it in another context. For example, let's try to print it as a float. Let's execute the program. As you can see, in both cases the program will execute and convert the constant value to the type that we requested. Now let's take a look into loops. For is the only loop that is supported by Go, and here are some basic examples. The most basic type is with a single condition. If we have a counter I, we can iterate over and let's print the current iteration, and let's increase the counter. Let's run it. We can also create a classic initial condition after for loop. So let's initialize I directly in the for loop. Let's get rid of this. This is the condition, for example, and let's increase the counter. We can remove this and execute it. Oops. Now we have I go from 3 to 5. Another for loop is one without condition, so this is an infinite loop. In order to get out of it, you need either to break or to return from it. Let's print something. So now we'll enter once in that loop and we'll exit. You can also use continue keyword to continue to the next iteration of the loop. For example, let's say let's create a loop, and if the number is even, skip it. If it's not, let's print it. Let's run it. Now this loop will print only odd numbers. Okay, so branching with an if and else statement in Go is straightforward. For example, you can say if 7 divided by 2 print that 7 is even number, and use the else statement to say that 7 is odd. Now note that you don't need parentheses around the condition, but you need braces around the body of the if and else statement. Now let's execute the program. 7 is an odd number is printed. Now we can also have an if statement without the else condition. In this case, nothing will be printed. And also a statement can be executed prior to the condition. For example, we can say that num is equal to 7, and if num is less than 0, can print that num is negative. We can also have an else if num is less than 10, then we can print that num has one digit, and an else statement can print that num has multiple digits. Now the variable that was declared in the if statement can be accessed by each branch in that if statement. Now let's execute the program, and as a result we have that 7 has a 1 digit. Note that there is no ternary operator in Go, so you need to use the full if statement even for our basic conditions. Lastly, let's take a look at functions with a few examples. Let's write a function which takes two integers as parameters and returns the sum of them. Go requires explicit returns, and it won't automatically return the value of the last expression. When you have multiple parameters of the same type, you can omit the type and declare it only once at the last position. Call a function just as you'd expect, with name and arguments. Let's print the output of the function. And let's execute the program. There are several other features of Go functions. One is multiple return values, which we'll look next time. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.